Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, Sparked by BBB. We are here in this wonderful Tuesday in the Ignite, Sparked by BBB podcast studio with our CEO and President, Barry Moore.
Hello, Evie. It is a wonderful Tuesday, as we're going to find out.
We have an amazing guest here with us that also joined us at the Liberty University CEO Summit earlier this year, Jeff Katz.
I am so thrilled to be here, Evie. Barry, it's great to see you,
too.
Looking forward to what I know is going to be a marvelous chat.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My
You
pleasure.
don't know that, but it's early for us.
He's the first pro we've actually had. He's a radio star after many, many decades of a cop. He's been everything, actually. And his son, Harry, actually worked here for a short time and learned about the BBB.
He did.
He did. And he's carrying that torch out to California about BBB, starting with trust.
I love
Which
it.
is great. He was a great employee.
From what I
Great
hear,
kid.
he has good intentions all around. So
He does. He's a smart kid. He learned a lot working with Barry and working at the BBB. He really did. A lot of great
He
lessons.
had some wake-up phone calls. You know, Evie, as you go, these phone calls we take from consumers, or that was Harry.
Yeah.
And he was a young child.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in college, but
Yeah.
he was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for him.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed the staff. They loved him. And he was quiet. He would just come in, go out. But he would talk, and he was wonderful.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anyway.
but he's a pro. Jeff is a pro, and we had a great time at CEO Summit.
Oh my
We should
gosh.
talk about that really quick.
A little bit.
If we can, because we're going to talk about this. This is
Yeah.
what it's about. But Dave Bratt might be listening on our podcast 2 years from now.
Yeah.
He might get around to this podcast,
might.
BBB Sharing.
Well, Dave did such a great job. That CEO Summit was a collection of thought leaders around the world,
Yes.
accomplished people. But I don't know about you two. The thing that impressed me the most, and the thing that I'm still talking about now, and I think we'll talk about forever, the quality of the students.
Oh yeah.
Right?
The best.
The professors I expect to be professorial. The students, I almost said kids, and that would be insulting. The students there, so mature, so professional, so polite, and
100%.
yeah, and
I
they,
mean, like that is ready to go right out the gate.
Oh, yeah.
You graduate, you're ready to be put in a professional setting.
yep,
And be a professional person.
No
I
doubt.
can't say the same thing about where I went to school. And I loved VCU.
Yeah.
Sorry, VCU was great. Learned a lot of amazing things, had a lot of amazing professors, but I can't honestly say that the people I graduated with were able to be that intellectually mature.
interesting.
There's no way.
Interesting.
I don't know if you guys know, we dealt with over 500 students in those 3 days,
Wow.
and that was the numbers. And I gave everybody the first 50 kids or so, gave them the same advice because that was my second year, and it was get business cards, thank the person, get to know them, like them on LinkedIn, and send them a note.
Yeah.
Do you know 5 or 10 adults,
Yeah.
liked my LinkedIn page and is following. And one lady did a follow-up interview with me to
Okay.
see what I learned and what business is all about.
Wow.
And then, as an employer for all these years, not the BBB, I'm different, but in the for-profit world, if you're in the Commonwealth, I would just put my recruiter sitting up there at every job fair. Whether you believe in God or not, all these students are raised almost all the same.
Mm-hmm.
They are God-focused. They are, they're not all perfect kids, obviously.
Right.
They're growing, mature adults, but intense, smart, purposeful. They're purpose-driven, and they can make a handshake and eye contact and conversation.
Absolutely.
You
will
can't
say
do that.
this.
I'm sorry,
No.
where you went to school and other
No,
schools.
and I
My
agree.
daughter's women married. I mean, the kids can't do that today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My aunt's been in Williamsburg for years now, same thing,
Wow.
but like, the thing that I want to point out is, okay, yeah, it is a Christian school and they are Christian kids, but what can you take out of that aside from the religious part? Discipline, morals, and ethics,
Yeah.
period, which is exactly what you want out of an employee
Absolutely.
to begin with.
Sounds like the BBB, why you're
Sounds a lot like
accredited.
the BBB.
That's
Start
right.
with trust, integrity,
right.
respect,
Yeah.
honesty.
Yeah.
And those kids, those adults, Jeff, you're right, saying that. You can tell my daughter's 30, so I still say kids. But it has been I highly recommend people to go. You got to go with us because you entered a contest.
Yep.
You were one of 5 people, and we drew names, and you won the contest. And I wish the other 4 we just couldn't afford to take them.
Yeah.
But next year we're going to do the same thing, and it was an amazing, it is something I'm committed to. Even when I retire, I will go. We had a phone call, Evie and I, a virtual call with a gentleman in Africa. He was in Nigeria.
Yes.
He wants to bring the BBB down to Nigeria. We sat behind in front of his wife.
Yes,
You were sitting
absolutely.
there, and the wife was on the call, and we talked to him. And how exciting is that?
Wow.
Where does that happen
Well,
in
it's
Richmond?
That
You
is
know,
it's finally being able to see that light bulb light
Yeah.
on top of someone's head because you realize they get it. And he gets it to the extent that he's like, okay, well, we're a venture capitalist company and we, provide income to or money to invest in US businesses.
Right.
And what's in the US? The Better Business Bureau.
Absolutely.
Why would we not want to know that the money that we're investing in these companies as venture capitalists are going towards accredited businesses and we're not getting scammed?
Wow.
Because we're talking about donating up to
Wow.
$200,000 investing in these companies.
That's incredible.
all from Dave Pratt. And one more thing, and I know we're going to get into Elevate and Power.
Yeah, sure.
I guess that's part of the book. No, it's but one of the things, I think you were there when General Kellogg was there, and the admirals and everybody sitting on the stage. I don't know if you guys remember, and you took a lot of notes. You sat through a lot of the conversations, which was amazing for somebody your age. I think it was eye-opening for you. But they talked about China and Korea, North
Yes.
Korea, and everything, and watch out, and we're not prepared, and we're not. And do you remember? Then, like 4 weeks later, our man in North Korea sent, I think it's now 12,000 troops over to Russia.
Right.
So they knew what was happening. These are retired
Yeah.
intelligence officers.
Yeah.
They know. They
Yeah.
can foresee.
That's right.
Because
going
they
on.
know that they're in preparation. They know that they were in preparation for the upcoming, and we're not political here at the BBB,
Right.
but they were in preparation for the upcoming election, and I don't care what side you're on, but they take these things into consideration.
Yes.
Right.
And
Great
like you
point.
can say, overall, in general, as a country right now, we're weak.
Right. And those generals and former Secretary of the BA, Secretary of Defense, who was on that panel.
Yeah.
I think one of the things you take from them, number one, don't play chess with them because you will lose.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And number two, the reason you're going to lose is because they're steeped in the art of war from Sun Tzu, right? You want to know what your enemy is doing. You want to be able to help your enemy.
They're trained to look
Exactly.
outside the box.
That's right.
Which the everyday person like ourselves is not.
Right.
I used to say, I studied broadcast journalism at VCU. I would tell my dad all the time, religious news watcher, my dad, every morning, every night. Listen to 10% of what they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being generous.
Yeah.
That's 10%.
Well, that's the built-in inflation. 10%.
10%.
Yes.
And what I tell, and he's like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? I'm saying, believe me.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they want you to know this.
Mm-hmm.
They're diverting your attention from what's going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not watching it.
Learn
And
that
these
as a kid.
generals-
Look over here. I'm robbing you over here.
That's right.
These generals, they know that.
Yeah.
And they're trained to know that and take
Yeah.
that into consideration.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jeff,
It's
on
not
a side
just
note,
physical.
I see a guest for your show here someday.
Absolutely.
I see Evie.
Yeah.
And Kat Weir, she came up to one of our events. She's the lady that told us her story that her mother aborted her. She's a little younger than me. She was
Yes.
being aborted,
Right.
but the abortion didn't work or
Right.
didn't take.
That's
God
right.
saved her life.
Yeah.
And she is now 50-some years old, fighting for people to not choose abortion and to choose adoption.
Yes.
Because she was adopted or whatever the case story was. She's down at the beach. She's looking for a job. She came up to our event, drove
Okay.
all the way up here.
Wow.
And I know you talked to her. She wants to get on and talk to your audience. But
Yeah,
she
love
was a
to.
special lady. I mean, when you get to that story, you say, wow, is that powerful? When she told me the story, I had to check my hearing aids because I didn't think I understood.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody that knows that she didn't find this out until she was 35. But anyway,
Right.
we're going to elevate and empower. Now.
Okay.
We're already 9 minutes in. This is going to be the best segment. Jeff, you should never get us up early.
Ah.
Because we're ready to go. We're going to be sleeping, Evie and I, by 11.
I was gonna say, it's so early, so I'm ready to go right now.
I love
So
it.
you do the intro, you start talking, and I'm going to
Perfect.
show YouTube.
So the real reason we have Jeff Katz
The
here
real
with us
reason,
is
real
because
reason.
we are talking about the book that you probably heard at this point, or you will hear soon, multiple segments on our team here at the Better Business Bureau discussing each chapter of this book. And I also had the opportunity to read a chapter from this book, and I can honestly say it is an amazing read. Not only if you're a business owner, but in general, somebody that wants to, be stronger mentally and physically and be out there and achieve your dreams, this is the book for you. It's not just for a business setting or business owners. It's to just be your better self. And so really, really highly suggest reading this book. My particular chapter, How to Speak Anywhere, Anytime to Anyone, is really important for me. I basically speak to people every day. And so for me, not being who I am anyways, was really important to me. And I got great tips in there and amazing story and background. So really loved it.
I love that. I'm glad to hear that people are taking lessons from it. It's an interesting book because there are 10 of us that collaborated. Everybody's got a chapter in there, and there are different takeaways from each chapter, right? There are people there who have overcome tremendous adversity. There's a gentleman in the book who was a Navy SEAL and has a very specific view of the world that really translates. Navy SEALs are amazing people. My new congressman, John McGuire, is a Navy SEAL.
Yes.
And so when you talk with him, there's just a different process. We're talking about the generals and the secretaries, right? They see things differently. And so my hope, being part of Elevate and Empower, was to really just be part of a bigger group that saw things from different perspectives, and then to provide that piece of it that Julia, my daughter, is able to see. And most people, when they think about Julia, think, she's got nothing to tell me. I mean, come on, she's not a chance. Well, I'd like to think she helps people discover what their cookies are.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
You have a chapter in this book as well. Tell us about that chapter.
Well, I shared a little bit of the story of Julia Katz, and I deliver 4 keynote addresses. That's what I love to do. My favorite keynote address, my favorite keynote speech, is called "The Quest for Cookies," and it is about Julia's adventure thus far. And that's what my chapter in the book is: how a young lady who is 21 years of age chronologically, but developmentally is 18 months old, has a lesson or two, a little bit of inspiration for other people. Julia will not read the book. Julia is not going to read a chapter to somebody else. But her lesson there is clear. You've got to identify what your goal is and somehow figure out a way to maneuver around those obstacles and get to it.
I love that. Barry, you read the book front to cover, didn't you?
I have been through a lot of it, but the main one was chapter 10.
Yeah.
Is Jeff Katz.
That was the start.
The Quest for Cookies. Yeah, that's where I started in the book. I started at the end. And, Jeff is a professional speaker, so everybody knows. He's not just a great radio host, a good guy to drive home with 3 to 6. That's wonderful. We advertise in the morning on the show with John Reed, and we tell people the greatest offense is BBB.org.
Yeah.
So we're trying to grow our budget so we can go to both segments in 25. And that being said, Jeff came here as a professional speaker. I believe he did 3 segments with us over a period of time.
Right.
Jeff coaching. I know you changed the name.
Well, no, it's Coaching with Katz.
Thank you.
I
love that name.
I know you do, and I tell you what, it's funny because Barry said to me, "Look, Coaching with Katz is a BBB accredited business, right? That was one of the things that was vitally important to me. I wanted that seal. I wanted people to know it's the real deal." And I said to Barry a couple of months ago, I said, "I don't know, man. I'm thinking about just dropping the Coaching with Katz and just being Jeff Katz because people know me." And I don't know if Barry just hates the name Jeff or had, I don't know, some personal thing.
I just love Coaching with Katz.
Yeah, and he said, "No, keep it, just keep it." So I compromised. So it is still Coaching with Katz. The website is jeffkatz.us.
There you go.
So there you go. So everybody's a
We
winner.
all win.
We all win.
But
That's
you
right.
spoke here. We had great audiences. And in 25, I really see, and I see an event coming at the Keystone Tractor Museum.
Oh, wow.
With Dave Bratt, economics. But that's even dying down because his speech is going to change.
It has to change.
It has to.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't a naysayer but he was a naysayer.
Well,
He was sort of a cold bucket of water on reality.
yeah, Dave is thoroughly honest
Yes.
and realistic.
And he's a comedian, which is great.
Funny guy. He's a funny guy.
How's a congressman, an ex-congressman, a comedian? But he is. He's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, he's got a great sense of humor.
He wouldn't sell out the Apollo Theater or anything, but
I don't think he could do that.
He could sell out the BBB office.
He would.
If I'm going to be that honest to that extent, I think covering it with some type of satire is good.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got that then. We can all agree. Dave has got that. And he led by insulting my tie choice on one day. I mean, it was a little painful because I had agonized over it, and I thought, well, there you go. And I mean, he was barely there, like in flip-flops and a t-shirt. I thought, well, all right, he organized. He gets to dress how he wants.
Yeah.
But
so Jeff's going to do. So we're talking about the Keystone, and he's a great salesman. Isn't that what the topic is?
Yes,
salesman.
Yeah, the worst lessons from the worst salesman in history. No, I was absolutely positively the worst salesman at the beginning of my career, and I'd like to think that it's changed a little bit, but
it's changed dramatically.
Make no mistake.
Look at your audience. Look at the advertisers that go with you.
Well,
there's a choice, and they pick you versus somebody's national names, and they get anybody they want.
Well, that's true.
And they pick you. So Grant Cardone's Sell to Survive. You have learned to sell to survive. We're all salespeople, and Grant Cardone made that clear. So anyway, how did the book come about?
Well, I was approached by the publisher, and it would have been early summer this year, and the publisher reached out and said, "Listen, we've looked a lot at some profiles on LinkedIn, as a matter of fact, and we've looked at a number of websites, and we have a whole department that all they do is look for people that are interesting, and would they translate into a written book, what have you." And I had said to her, I said, "Well, I'm working on a book, and it seems to me, as I talk to people, everybody is working on a book."
Yes.
But I swear to you, I legitimately am working on a book, and every day I go in and I write so many words. I see it as an assignment. It's part of my job. And I used to be a columnist of the Boston Herald. So if I had an editor say, "Look, we need 700 words on blank as a columnist," okay, that's what I give you. I can write 700 words. The idea of putting together a book with, I don't know, 100,000 words, like, ooh, can I count the tiny little words? Can I put uhs and ahs in a written piece? So I said, well, this is going to have to be like eating an elephant, right? I'm going to take a bite at a time. So I'll sit down and I'll bang out anywhere between 500 and 1,000 words and just put it aside. And there's not actually an order, right? I mean, and you get this, Abby. I mean, you know, there's supposed to be, here's where we started. We've got an inverted triangle if we're doing news and all the rest of it. I am just writing for the sake of writing and putting it all there. And anyway, I digress. So you
need to follow the lead.
I do.
When you sit down and it takes you somewhere, you just need to go with it.
Yeah. I'm still not sure what the lead is. I think it's Cookies with Julia, but I don't know. And so the woman said, well, what about being part of a collection? What we're doing is this and this and this. And I said, well, yeah, okay. She said, well, here's where the deadlines are, and here's some of the other people who are going to be involved in the project. And I looked at all of their stuff just to get a sense, because I thought, well, if you're really putting together, I don't know, a collection of recipes, I don't belong in there. And if you're putting together lessons from great personal trainers on how to increase your, again, not my bailiwick. But I looked at these other folks, I thought, wow, they got some really cool lessons. And then I started thinking, well, is the lesson that comes forward from Quest for Cookies even up to what these people are saying? And I thought, yeah, you know what, it is. It is. And so I sat down, I wrote the chapter, editor came back, and as editors do, say, geez, I'm not sure about this word. I don't know about the sentence structure over there, but it was all very cooperative, very creative. And I'd like to think that chapter, I'm a little biased, but I think it's the best chapter in the book. Don't you think, Barry?
I agree.
I think it really does. Yeah.
I agree. That's why I started with it.
Yeah.
I don't suggest starting the book at the end, but I do suggest reading the book.
Honestly,
Only because I'm a book reader. I'm an avid book reader, and I do enjoy, reading it from
Yeah.
the beginning to the very end.
Yeah.
Sometimes saving the best for last is a good way to end it
Love
on
that.
a happy note,
Oh,
on a
geez,
good
so
note, strong note. So
Yeah.
make sure to read it from the very, very beginning all the way to the very end.
now, have you met the publisher or whatever you call that person?
Everything has been done either Zoom call or phone calls. The publisher is actually based in Vancouver, Canada.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's a good place to visit, by the way.
Oh, I know.
But what about the other 9 chapters? Have you met those authors?
I have not in person. Again, we've done these Zoom calls, so we all sort of know what everybody looks like. We know what they sound like. But the weird thing is, hasn't been a single face-to-face meeting.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
What a collaboration, yeah.
and that's 2024 though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go back again, long before,
Yes.
yeah, you and I, when we
I
were
go
younger.
back further than you, yeah.
Well,
Yes. I get it.
But what would we think? You'd have to get in a room,
Yes.
and we've got to put together times and distances. No, we'll meet in the middle of this, and not the case anymore. And if I may, when we're talking about the book, and this is totally selfish, but if you buy it from jeffkatz.us, number one, I will personally inscribe it. If you want it,
Sorry, I didn't do that.
that's all right. Or for an extra $1, I won't inscribe it. No,
That's the value.
that's the value.
Value proposition.
That's right. The most important part, though, is if you buy it at jeffkatz.us, I'm donating a portion of the profits to charities that help special needs kids. So, I mean, people can buy it from Amazon, I know. Jeff Bezos, no judgments, but I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
don't
need to
think
help
he's sweating
Yeah.
the Christmas season. So jeffkatz.us is where you can get it, and I'll sign it. And
So Jeff, we're gonna put that on our social media also.
Okay.
We gotta get that clear, because even I bought it the first day it was released,
Wow.
and I couldn't get
You're
the
a good
chapter, and I got it immediately to help get the word out and to read it, and I had to plan 10 chapters
Yeah.
for our staff, and I think we all need that. The one thing, we're 8 or 9 people, we serve 42 counties. How many millions of people do we hit? I gotta ask Rob Whitman.
Yeah.
Rob was on the radio this morning, and he said he serves 800 and some thousand in his little District 1.
Yeah.
So we handle even more than Rob Whitman does,
Yeah,
and people,
yeah.
because we handle every consumer. So I thought this was important, and then my staff, it's what we need each and every day. This kind of elevate and empower, just the title means so much. But let's get to the most important part. They want to meet you, the audience. We're going to get this out quickly, BBB
Sure.
Sharing, but they want to meet you and get this autographed and buy the book in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we do that and get some great barbecue maybe?
Yeah,
next
maybe.
time?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Sunday, November the 17th, between noon and 2, Jake's Place, 511 Thompson Street in Ashland, here in Central Virginia. We will have copies of the book available for people to purchase. We will have photos with the author. And I'm the author, Barry. Isn't
How
that
about
cool? So
I'm
people
going to get a selfie with you.
Yeah, so if people want to do that, we will do that. It should be a great
How
time.
did you be there?
I'm hoping. Yeah, I hope so.
She doesn't get out and enjoy all your popularity, does she?
She's not nearly as impressed with my popularity as I think I am.
Meet her.
Yeah.
She's especially because I've never met her, and obviously to know her son Harry and to know
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah,
So you've met 20% of the family.
Exactly.
30% of the family.
And I know Julia because I've read the book, and
Yeah.
I got the bracelet.
Yeah.
You have the cookies.
I am wearing Julia's Quest for Cookies bracelet. This one we started last year or earlier this year when I did a presentation here at the BBB.
It was special.
And so those bracelets are from Emily Morrissey down
Yes.
in the Midlothian. Emily's a young lady who is 26 years of age, has CP and some other special needs. And her family, God bless them, they realized that Emily had a love for working with beads and making bracelets. And she started making them for family and friends, and then they built a business. And EmilysBracelets.com is her business. She's got all sorts of specials for Christmas and Hanukkah and sports teams and colleges. Her brother is a graduate of ECU, PJ
Yeah,
Morrissey.
yeah.
Yeah. So she's got some amazing stuff. And, that's one of the, I think, powerful stories as well, because her parents looked at the situation. Emily had been out in some supported employment, and it just didn't work. I mean, it just wasn't going to work for her. And they said, well, we don't want her just to sit around for the rest of her life. We want a valuable experience for her, something that means something to her. And so they built a company for her. And every day, Emily sends me a photograph as she is working on the bracelets of the day. Her mom, Kristen, takes that photo. And that is, I mean, every single day I get an email, a text message, a Facebook message from Emily. And Emily is going to be my partner in the big Dominion Energy Christmas parade.
Yep.
I'm going to be there for the Fatherhood Foundation.
Very good.
And I said, I only do teams when it comes to parades, because I just know how talented Emily is, and Emily has the perfect parade wave. She's right.
I'll tell you what, Emily and Julia have contagious smiles. I've never met Julia. I've seen a picture of her, and what a smile, right? She does. She does. And she's your daughter, so you might not, you're going to agree, but you don't see it like outsiders. But Emily also is just incredible. And last year, I bought for the staff, because I had met you. We did the quest for cookies. I bought everybody here the Christmas bracelet.
Yes.
So we should be, everybody, I got to remind everybody, I don't know if you got one. You started in January. So I have to get you one. But I got to remind everybody, get them out of the jewelry box.
Yes.
Let's get it. I think I'm going to get them the new upgraded for Christmas one. But
excellent.
I love following them on social media. The family, PJ, mom and dad, I've never met any of them.
Oh.
But I know Carl Leonard is very, very close with them also. So, boy, we've covered a lot of stuff. But Jake's place, what are we going to get? Pie? What's the best pie? What do you think?
Generally speaking, I think the best pie is usually whatever pie is in front of you. But Emily, Wendy, a couple of times a year does a chocolate chess.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's only available at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I'm going to church and I'm coming there on the 17th. I'll get you a piece because you won't be there. And the barbecue, I like the Jeff Katz sandwich. I sat at the Jeff Katz table with my wife. My wife does not like barbecue. Said, what are we doing here? And I said, we're sitting at the Jeff Katz table. Do they have anything other than barbecue? It smells like barbecue in here, Barry. I said, this is beautiful from Barry. It's like, I'll go there on Father's Day.
There you go.
Because my wife's not going for Mother's Day. But I love it. But we're going to have the book. They can buy the book there.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
The book, and you will sign it?
I will absolutely sign it.
You get Jeff Katz DNA in the book. Maybe he'll even eat a sandwich over it.
That's right. A little barbecue sauce on there.
That hurt.
My son Joe, we're pressing. You haven't met Joe.
No.
You'll get a chance to meet Joe. Joe he's my youngest guy.
Yes.
And so he's going to be there. We've set up the Square account and all that. So he's going to be processing payments.
You don't know how to do that.
I have no idea. No.
That's why we have kids.
That's because he said, "Well, what are you going to do?
What's in it for me?" No.
Yeah, well, he did ask. Yeah, he did ask that in a very nice, shrouded sort of a way. But it's like, dude, I'm your dad. I know exactly what you're asking. Yeah, that's right. You're taking 2 hours out of my day. There's got to be an ROI for me, So yeah, you'll be there.
So go ahead, Abby. You can wrap it up.
Awesome.
We're at 28 minutes. With Jeff Katz, it seemed like it was 2 minutes.
It does seem like
I got like an hour.
What happens when there's good conversation.
Yeah, not Barry all the time. We like to have a good guest, and Abby does a great job.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Oh, it had been my absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure talking to you again. Hopefully, I get to see you again.
Absolutely.
Barry, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Everyone that is watching, please make sure to go to the event this weekend and purchase one of these books. You can get it signed and you get to see one of the authors, Jeff Katz. And if you're not local, make sure to buy the book off of Amazon. You'll really, really love it.
Not off of Amazon.
Not off of Amazon.
Oh, nope, buy it off.
Oh, that's right.
That's okay.
Scratch that.
Yep.
Scratch that.
Scratch that. Yep.
Sorry, Jeff Bezos.
Rewind.
Yeah, there's two Jeffs. Bezos is just
Jeff
fine.
Katz.
JeffKatz.us.
Jeff Bezos got a boat, I think.
I got a bathtub. I mean, that's no, actually, I don't even have a bathtub. No, so you know what? JeffKatz.us.
JeffKatz.us. That's where you can buy it and you can get it with your signature.
I will sign it. And again, for me, the most important part, we're going to take a portion of the profits on every book that we sell and donate those back to some special needs
so
service
why
charities.
Not buy it from Jeff Katz website, jeffkatzus.com, and make sure to, be a part of the change, a big one at that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below on BBB Central VA. That is our YouTube channel. And if you're listening on Spotify, BBB Sharing, like and follow us and share it out. Share the love. Why not?
Hey, anybody got 30 minutes in on this podcast, BBB Sharing? Keep in mind, starting out 2025 is critical for your company, your culture. Coaching with Katz, accredited business, hire him, get him in January, February to start people thinking about 2025. It's going to be a banner year, but people got to get their heads right. They need the inspiration, and Jeff can do that. So I encourage everybody to get him booked because he is busy because he's on the radio and he does book and he's got a family.
True, you're a
Very
busy
good.
guy.
Very good. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.